What is UNRWA and why are some countries suspending its fundings? So they are asking us what is this United Nations agency and why are they having their funding suspended by some countries. So let's see which countries are actually doing that. Major donors to the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency have suspended funding after allegations emerged that around 12 of its tens of thousands of Palestinian employees were suspected of involvement in the October 7 attacks in Israel by Hamas. What does UNRWA do? UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, was established in 1949 by the UN General Assembly resolution following the war surrounding the founding of Israel when 700,000 Palestinians fled or were driven from their homes. So this body has come a long way and they have always been there to support the Palestinians. Just to throw more light on this particular story, Israel has put Gaza under siege for more than 100 days now after Hamas fighters broke into Israel and killed about 1,200 people. Since October 7, Israel has punished the people in Gaza. Israel has destroyed most of the buildings in Gaza. Israel has blockaded the entire Gaza Strip. The Palestinians living there are starving. They can barely eat. They can barely do anything. Even before these new attacks by Israel on Gaza, Gaza was described as an open-air prison because the Gazans couldn't move freely in and out of the strip. They had to get permission from Israel in order for them to cross into West Bank. You cannot fly out of Gaza. There's no airport. So, if you need to get like medical treatment abroad, then you need to get permission from Israel. It was really, really devastating even before these attacks by by Israel. Now everything has just gotten from bad to worst. Israel has leveled most of the buildings there. Most of the people in Gaza are now homeless. Gaza has a population of about 2.4, 2.3 million people. Most of them are now homeless, living in these United Nations refugees centers. So to see major donors cutting fundings, it's really sad, because just imagine that people there don't have hope. The only thing that gives them some hope is this United Nations agency that helps them with food and medication and other stuff. And if they are having their funding cut off, how can they carry out their functions in Gaza or in other places that they are involved in? It's really sad. But let's continue with the story. Today, it directly employs 30,000 Palestinians, serving the civil and humanitarian needs of descendants of those refugees. In the Gaza Strip, West Bank, and in vast camps in neighboring Arab countries. In Gaza, it employs 13,000 people, running the enclave schools, its primary health care clinics, and other social services, as well as distributing humanitarian aid. Its service in Gaza has increased in importance since 2005, when Israel and Egypt imposed a blockade, causing the economic collapse with one of the highest unemployment rate in the world. So most of the time you hear Israelis government officials come out to say that Gaza would have been the Singapore of the Middle East. Had it not been that Hamas took all the money that was given to them and built tunnels and sponsored terrorism. But they will not say that they have blockaded the Gaza Strip since 2005. That is almost 21, how long now? 19, 20 years? They will not say that. They will not say that they indirectly killed the economy of Gaza. They will not say that. And remember that this United Nations agency has about 30,000 employees and 13,000 of them working in the Gaza Strip. So if 12 people are suspected to have participated on the 7th of October attacks in Israel, does that really warrant the West to start cutting fundings from this United Nations agency? Does that make any sense to you? So now what you are trying to do is punish the group for an alleged crime that might have been committed by a few. How much sense does that make? But let's continue. Since Israel launched its war following the October 7 attacks, around 1 million Gazians, or nearly 45% of the enclave's population, have been sheltering in UNRWA school, clinics, and other public buildings. Nearly the entire Gazan population now relies on UNRWA for basic necessities, including food, water, hygiene supplies. More than 150 UNRWA staff have been killed since the start of the conflict, making it the deathless conflict ever for UN employees. More than 150 UN employees have been killed by Israel. And that is to be overlooked, as casualty of war. But the story about the 12 Palestinians who worked for UNRWA should be scrutinized very seriously, isn't it? That is the hypocrisy I have always told you about the West. The West is so hypocritical. Sometimes we need things like this for people to really know clearly how terrible the West is. The West will tell you different things. They will say something different, and then they will turn around and do something totally different. That is just how the West is. But let's continue. Who are its main donors? Like who are the one giving fundings to this UNRWA? Contributions from United Nations member states including regional governments and the European Union, account for more than 89% of the agency's funding. It also receives funding from the UN budget and financial contributions from other UN bodies. In 2022, its top government donors were the United States, Germany, the European Union, Sweden, Norway, Japan, France, Saudi Arabia, Switzerland, and Turkey. Countries including the United States, Britain, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Switzerland have suspended funding of the agency in the wake of the allegations. Yeah. So let's not fund them anymore. Let's let the Palestinians all starve to death. After all, they are of no importance, isn't it? They don't matter, so we shouldn't care about them. What are Israel's allegations? A 6-page Israeli dossier shared with the United States and reviewed by Reuters says 12 UNRWA staff members took part in the October 7 attacks, including 9 who worked as teachers in the agency's school. 10 of them directly participated in the raid into Israeli territory, during which fighters killed 1,200 people and captured more than 240 hostages, and 2 others were summoned to assist the raid. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the number of UNRWA staff that participated in the raid was 13. The dossier says Israel also had wider evidence that UNRWA has employed 190 Hamas and Islamic Jihad militants. Well, this is coming from Israel, so I hope everyone takes that with a grain of thought. Because remember, Israel is the one bombarding Gaza. Israel is the one invading Gaza. Israel is the one occupying Gaza. Israel is the one building illegal settlement in the West Bank. Israel is the one who has turned the Palestinian Authority into a puppet. Israel is the one playing the victim card while being a superpower in the area. It's like somebody claiming to be the villain and the victim at the same time. I do not understand how this worked out, but for Israel, that is a possibility. So this is coming from them. All these allegations are coming from them. So I hope people review everything they say before we act. Because if there's one thing we've seen throughout this so-called elimination of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, is that Israel has produced a lot of things that people have found to be not so truthful. So people should be mindful. What does UNRWA say about the Israeli accusations? UNRWA says it acted swiftly to fire staff after being alerted of Israeli evidence that they have participated in the October 7 attacks. It believes that the cut of its funding now could jeopardize its entire mission and drastically worsen an already catastrophic humanitarian emergency in Gaza. It is shocking to see a suspension of funds to the agency in reaction to allegations against a small group of staff, especially given the immediate action that UNRWA took by terminating their contract and asking for the transparent independent investigation. A spokesperson for the agency said on Monday that UNRWA would not be able to continue operations in Gaza and across the region beyond the end of February if funding did not resume. UNRWA has been under financial strain for years. In January 2023, it appealed for 1.6 billion in funding, saying its operations were at risks. So this is the situation we now face in Gaza. And we will hope that this can be resolved as soon as possible. Because, to say the least, a lot of people are struggling in Gaza. A lot of people are going through a lot in Gaza. A lot of children are starving. Some of them are sick and cannot get antibiotics or any sort of medication for their illnesses. Some of them have been amputated and they might need painkillers for their pain, but they cannot get it. Humanity is drifting far away into a place that is really dangerous for all of us. And we have got to identify that where we are headed is not going to be good for all of us. It's not going to be good for all of us, my brothers and sisters. It's not going to be good for all of us. But you guys out there, Let us know in the comment section below what you think about the stories we covered on the show today. And also, please kindly do us a favor by liking this video, sharing it if you can, and also subscribe to the channel because somehow that helps a lot with the algorithm, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that, and like always, see you in the next one.